What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 9 of the Slot Pod. We got some interesting topics today. We're going to talk about some off-season info, news, and all that. And then we're going to jump into week 1 schedule predictions. Me and Ahmed are going to give our week 1 schedules predictions, who we think is going to win. After that, we're going to jump into some takes, debate over them, see what our opinions are and what we think.
For sure. We have just started a new kind of challenge we're doing with our fans called Do You Know Ball? All the details are on our TikTok at the Slot Pod, so feel free to go tap in. Basically, going to be a trivia challenge. We got some cool giveaways, some cool prizes. I'm going to keep a leaderboard and everything each week, so definitely excited about that. So definitely go tap in if you're interested. But yeah, like Adam said, I'm definitely going to start this week with some recent NFL news. So Micah Parsons to the Packers. Big NFL trade. Honestly, I didn't expect the Cowboys to trade Micah, but
Especially
they
not
did
to
end
the
up trading
Packers.
him. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jerry said, we're not trading him to the NFC, and then immediately traded him to the NFC. So we know how Jerry operates, but what were your thoughts on the trade and kind of what
Yeah,
they got back in
honestly,
return?
honestly, I just thought it was an overall stupid idea. I mean, if you have the money for Michael Parsons, you pay the money for Michael Parsons. That's kind of just what anyone in the NFL would do, unless you're the Bengals, of course, because they don't like paying people either. But I do think that the Cowboys definitely should have worked out a deal. I just think it was a lot of questionable choices coming from that Cowboys front office. What's the idea behind not allowing Mike Parsons to have his agent for contract negotiations? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, it's a little crazy. And the fact is that Micah Parsons has one of the best agents in the business. He negotiated $1 billion in deals just last year. David Mulligata from Athletes First. Just the fact that he didn't want to deal with one of the best in the business and decided not to pay him. David went and got that contract from Green Bay right away, paid him more than what Micah was even asking for. So it seems like, I mean, I wouldn't know the behind the scenes, but like you said, you got the money to pay Micah, so you pay him. Another thing that was interesting was today they paid Deron Bland 4 years, $92 million, which is a lot of money for, I wouldn't say someone who primarily is a ball hawk, but like, I wouldn't say he's absolutely elite in coverage or, makes such a huge
I'm
defensive
not
impact.
putting
Like,
him in
I'd
my
rather have
top
Micah
10
Parsons. I
cornerbacks.
don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm not putting Deron Bland in my top 10 cornerbacks. And
There
I
you
saw
go.
this earlier today. It was crazy. He's getting paid more than PS2, Defensive Player of the Year.
There you go.
Another thing I wanted to point out, I did see this online. I don't know how true it is, but apparently the offer that the Cowboys did initially offer Micah Parsons was around the same amount. So he'd be getting $45 million per year for 5 years. And I just think that's a stupid thing for him to do, especially in the NFL where anything can really happen, whether it's injuries or your team just kind of goes downhill. No NFL player wants to be stuck on a team for more than 4 years without being able to open up to free agency and kind of explore their options. So it seems like the Cowboys are kind of trying to hold Micah Parsons hostage, and that's kind of what they're doing with this whole contract debacle. It's just a lot of dumb choices that were made. A lot of things could
Yeah,
have been
agreed.
said to kind of remediate the situation. But I did want to ask you, who do you think the winner of this trade is?
I think it's the Packers pretty clearly because I think Kenny Clark doesn't have the impact that he had a couple years ago. And first round picks are good, but with the Packers' outlook, like let's just look at their team, right? It's not the best team in the NFL. I wouldn't say the Packers are the best team in the NFL, but just drafted Matthew Golden, Jordan Love looks good, looks promising, like he could potentially take his team to the playoffs and further. A running back room, solid, Josh Jacobs, and the defense itself has already been pretty solid. Xavier McKinney's there. Just switched Bo Melton over to cornerback, which is just kind of a fun fact. But the point I'm trying to make is they're a solid team, and then you add Micah Parsons to that team. So it's like they're clearly they have a vision for their team. Whereas the Cowboys are like, hey, we have Dak and CeeDee right now. We're a win now team, but we just traded our potentially our best player. It's between him and CeeDee for a guy who's aging and then future picks. So it's like pick a timeline. Are you now? Are you future? What? I don't know what the Cowboys are going for. I don't really know what Jerry Jones is doing. Like it really confuses me. It confused me before when he wasn't paying him. It confuses me even more now that he traded him. Like, what are you going to do with those two first round picks that you don't have with Micah Parsons? Like those picks, you're looking to get a star with those picks, but you already have a star in Micah Parsons. So why are you trading him away? It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, my question is, who are you getting with two first round picks in the next 2 years? I mean, you now have a huge spot on the defense that's kind of just empty. You have Micah Parsons gone, and that's a crazy thing to say. Like, Micah Parsons is not on our team anymore. Who's going to take over for his spot? Because there's not a lot of players like Micah Parsons in the NFL right now. I can
Agreed.
maybe name 3 or 4 that are kind of on the same level of him, and he's widely considered to be probably one of, if not the best defensive player in the NFL. So it's just crazy that you let a guy like that walk. I don't care if he had injuries. I don't care if he was being a diva. I think the man is entitled to his money, especially when he plays at the caliber that he does.
Yeah, agreed. But it does kind of make you wonder. Like, look at the Bengals, right? They didn't want to pay Shamar Stewart. They didn't want to pay Trey Hendrickson. Now the Cowboys didn't want to pay Micah Parsons. Like, maybe we're seeing a trend towards NFL teams being less confident that their defensive players are going to be good for years to come. Like, maybe the shelf life is getting a little bit shorter with harder hits. And you would think that with better technology, the shelf life would be longer. But it's just kind of a trend that we're seeing, right? Teams don't really want to pay their defensive players all that kind of money, and they don't want to extend them for a long amount of time. You see Jair Alexander's on a new team. You see Stephon Gilmore is switching teams every year. I don't even know if he's playing this season. So it's kind of tough. Like it's a weird kind of phase that we're in with the NFL in terms of defensive contracts.
Yeah, the market for pretty much anyone on the defense is kind of similar to what running backs had to deal with for a really long time. Like it just took last year for the running back market to get reset. It took Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Jameer Gibbs, Bijan Robinson. It took 5 of these guys to just go absolutely nuts and just absolutely ball out for the running back market to kind of get reset and kind of make it so that these guys are getting paid what they deserve. Because at the end of the day, the NFL is a business. These guys are going to want their money. They may love the game. They may love playing for a team, but they got to make their money somehow. And I know it's
Exactly.
kind of weird talking about people that are getting paid millions of dollars, but I mean that's just how it is. I mean, if you don't pay the guys what they deserve or what they think they deserve, they're gonna walk. And best believe there's 31 other teams that are going to jump on that opportunity to sign these guys.
And there you have it. I mean, Packers said, why not? Let's get
Exactly.
an elite defensive player for 2 first-round picks and a guy who we're not sure what the shelf life is on him. So let's just go get Micah Parsons, who's 26 years old and an absolute beast on the defensive line. Like that, I think that's just crazy to me. It's crazy.
And now they have him for 4 years. So like that's 4 years of
Exactly.
domination coming from their D line. And then all they have to do is build around that. Boom, defense is stacked.
Yeah, and they already have pieces there. Like I said, I mean, Lucas Van
Exactly.
Ness, all these guys, like they have young talent on the defensive side of the ball as well. So I think the Packers are going to be good. I won't say they're going to win the division, but we'll discuss that a little bit later. Going to what we think of that division, because I know we got some good matchups this week, specifically in that division. So
Let's jump into schedule predictions.
sure, we got an exciting week ahead. What's your favorite matchup this week?
I mean, this one, when you look at the schedule, this one just really jumps out, stands out to you. We got a playoff rematch from last year. We got the Bills versus the Ravens, and I think this is going to be an absolute banger.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really solid game. I personally, I really think that Tampa and Atlanta is going to be a good game. Really good divisional matchup, and just two teams that are like flipping back and forth. Who's going to make the playoffs, right? It's been Tampa the last couple of years, but Penix, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and the guys. I mean, that's a promising team that you've got there. I also like Chicago and Minnesota. I want to see what JJ McCarthy can do. Like, I'm excited for his debut and to see if he can perform against this Chicago team that's kind of building up their squad, and see if Caleb Williams is taking that year 2 jump. So it's going to be a fun week. But yeah, let's get started with game 1, Philadelphia versus Dallas. Who are you picking and why?
I think this is an easy pick. I mean, Eagles coming off the Super Bowl win, they're playing a Micah Parsons list Dallas Cowboys. This team, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are very soon going to fall apart. I don't think Dak has much left in him. This is kind of like probably his last year to really prove himself if he can make it past. If he can even make it to playoffs, then I'd say hold on to him for maybe a year or two more. But other than that, Dallas Cowboys, they're going to get steamrolled by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, just such a tough division, tough team. The Eagles are just solid on pretty much every single front. Like, it's hard to find a real weakness with them. A lot of people have been going at Howie Roseman the last couple weeks at some of his signings, like just not happy with the signings. But I think at this point, you trust the GM that took you to the Super Bowl. You trust the guy who believed in AJ Brown, believed in Devontae Smith, allowed Jalen Hurts to learn and build himself up, and then got a guy like Saquon Barkley just to complete the puzzle. I think you trust that guy, and like you said, I think this will probably be a steamroll for week 1. Not a very exciting first game of the season because I just feel like they're at 2 completely different levels of play. But if we get to see some fireworks from George Pickens, some fireworks from CeeDee Lamb, I don't mind. Hoping for a close game, but like you said, Philadelphia over Dallas. Pretty clear choice there.
All right, next up, week 2, we got Kansas City versus the Chargers. Now, my personal pick, I think Mahomes takes it over the Chargers. I don't think the Chargers really get it over Mahomes that much. I mean, I will say they're probably going to split this year, but week 1, Mahomes is coming off a Super Bowl loss. He's going to be in a different mode right now.
Yeah, I agree with you that Mahomes is going to be in a different mode, but I'm going to pick the Chargers this week. I think that the Chargers are going to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs this week. I think that the Chiefs need a bit of a reset in terms of just like mentality wise. And I think the Chargers have a good team. Like, I think the Chargers are a very good team. I think this is Herbert's prove it year. Like, this is like, hey, are you going to get to the playoffs this year? Or are you just going to be if man for the rest of your career?
Mr.
But yeah, I
Hypothetical.
mean, yeah, I think the Chargers take it this week. Marion Hampton is going to have a good debut game. Ladd McConkey is going to have a nice game, and I think the Chiefs need a bit of a regroup on the defensive side. No Rashee Rice on the offensive side of the ball, and running back room kind of sucks. I don't love Isaiah Pacheco as a primary running back. So outside of
Really?
Patrick Mahomes, we're not looking at a very good offense. So if they can put up more than 14, 21 points, that's great. Then they got to deal with the LA Chargers defense, which is a pretty lockdown defense. So it'll be interesting. My surprise player for this week is actually going to be for the Chargers. Tarheeb Still had a pretty good season last season as a rookie. I think he's going to have an impact this season, potentially pick off Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, going with the Chargers for the upset against the Chiefs this week.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I think just you can't really doubt Mahomes just yet. And I will say that this is kind of Mahomes' year to really prove himself to be like, can he be the GOAT? Because if we look at the guys Brady was playing with, Brady wasn't always playing with a stacked roster with Randy Moss, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski. He wasn't always playing with those guys. He had a few guys that not a lot of people can name.
Danny Woodhead, Rex Burkhead, all those guys.
Exactly. So if Patrick Mahomes does end up doing good this season and kind of like just goes crazy like he used to in the past, but this time with Rashee Rice gone for 6 weeks, he has a kind of broken Isaiah Pacheco. He has Xavier Worthy, who he had some production last year, but it wasn't as much as we wanted to see from him. But if he can get this done, especially with the defensive situation they got going on right now, I mean, all they really have is Chris Jones and Trent McDuffie. So if they can pull this off, I think that's when we really have to just Mahomes is just certified number one because I do see a lot of people putting Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen over him, and then they like to bring up how ring culture doesn't matter. But I mean, at the end of the day, Mahomes is the only one in this generation to really win it more than once. Like no one else.
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal is to win a ring.
Exactly. Like how are we gonna not talk about ring culture, or how are we gonna try to downplay ring culture and then Brady's the GOAT? Because you could make arguments that some people maybe had more skill than Brady, but then again, Brady has 7 rings. So where's the argument there then?
Yeah, agreed. But I do want to clarify. Although I have the Chargers beating the Chiefs this week, I do have the Chiefs as my Super Bowl winner for this season because I think you're right. Patrick Mahomes comes with a different hunger. I just think they need a week 1 like practice run, if that makes sense. Like quick, like knock in the head. Like, hey, wake up. Wake the Chiefs back up. Get Patrick Mahomes
No, I
rolling
get
again.
what you're saying. I mean, that's what happened to the Eagles last season. I mean, they had a slow
Yep.
start to the
Yep.
season. I think they lost
Yep.
to the Packers or some. They lost to a couple people in the early on weeks, and then look at what happened in the Super Bowl. They just
hmm
absolutely fried the
They went
Chiefs.
crazy. The
So
rest
that
of the
could
season, they
very
went
well happen.
insane. Agreed. Next on my list, I've got the Dolphins versus the Colts. Thoughts?
Dolphins versus Colts. I mean, I don't trust Daniel Jones at all, and I don't trust the weapons that he has. I mean, he has Michael Pittman, solid guy. Jonathan Taylor, solid guy. Tyler Warren, solid guy. But then again, it's Daniel Jones. What have we ever seen from Daniel Jones since what was it, 2019? I mean, the guy has just proven himself to suck basically. You can't really put your faith in him. And if I was a Colts fan, I'd be worried about the whole QB situation because Anthony Richardson seems like he doesn't know what football is, and Daniel Jones just never really knew what football is.
So let me pause right here. Right now, who would you start? Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones?
We might as well put Jonathan Taylor at QB. These are two horrible options.
So, I mean,
I,
I think you just start the number 4 overall pick. Like, you drafted him for a reason, right? He played 4 games in his first season. Then he played a couple games last season, and they're like, all right, well, you suck, so go sit on the bench. And comes back this preseason, doesn't even play all that bad, gets hurt, and then he's benched again for a guy who has lost twice as many games as he's won. Like, It just makes no sense to me what the Colts are doing. Like, you either play your talent or just get rid of him, like trade him or something. Do
The
something with
question,
the fact that you drafted him number 4 overall.
my question is, why did we have to settle? Like, why did you have to settle for Daniel Jones? This
Agreed.
market, the free agent market for QBs was not bad at all this year. You could have gotten Sam Darnold, you could have gotten Justin Fields, you could have gotten Aaron Rodgers. I mean, there's so many moves you could have made. And honestly, if you throw any one of those quarterbacks a bag to come play for 2 years, they'll be fine with it. I mean, you could have even picked up Geno. Like, there's so many better options, and then you chose the guy who literally loses more than he has ever won.
And then if you are like, Anthony Richardson needs to learn from a vet, you don't pick Daniel Jones as the veteran for him to learn from. Like you said, you pick a guy like Sam Darnold, you pick a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you pick maybe a guy like Geno Smith. Like, you do not pick a guy like Daniel Jones. Continue. But yeah, I mean, for my pick this week, I agree with you. I think that the Dolphins are going to get it done over the Colts. And, I think the talent difference is a bit much as far as the quarterbacks. But another player who I think is going to do well is Devon Achane. I think Devon Achane is going to have a good game. He's coming off a bit of a calf injury, so maybe the usage is probably going to be less than we expect, but I think his efficiency will be just as good as usual. So Dolphins over the Colts for sure for me. Next pick, Pittsburgh versus the New York Jets. The Steelers versus the Jets. Who you got?
Honestly, these are two very like iffy teams. Honestly, I'm gonna go with the New York Jets taking this one. I think Justin Fields is gonna be able to figure out against the Steelers, and I will say their defense is looking a little bit scarier than last year. But then again, Justin Fields, he got legs. Brees Hall, he's got somewhat of legs. As long as you can sling Garrett Wilson the rock, I think they'll be okay. I think Garrett Wilson has that ability to get open, find out where he needs to go, and get the ball into the end zone. And
Yeah, but that's the
I mean,
issue.
you have
Like,
Sauce.
Justin Fields literally cannot find his receivers. Like, he has the worst inaccuracy rate in the entire NFL. And he's starting on a team with one receiver. Can you name the second receiver? Can you name the wide receiver 2 for the Jets?
You ain't gotta call me out like that, bro.
It's Josh Reynolds, the wide receiver 4 or 5 from the Lions last year. And we're talking about Justin Fields, the most inaccurate player in the NFL, is going to have to throw to Josh Reynolds. Like, Garrett Wilson is going to be triple covered because who is guarding Josh Reynolds and Xavier Gibson? And then on top of that, Brees Hall is just not a competent running back. Brees Hall, in the receiving game,
Really?
I love Brees Hall. I think he is a solid receiving back. As a running back, he just doesn't find the holes he needs to in the offensive line. Like, you see each and every time he's running for 1 yard, 2 yard, -3 yards. And then, yeah, he'll bust out a 25-yard run. He'll bust out a 30-yard run here and there. But the consistency is not there. Now, I think if we switch to a guy like Braylon Allen, you see more consistency. You see more hard hitting, a hard nosed back, which is what I think that the Jets should do, potentially move on from Brees Hall. But with all that information, Justin Fields, Xavier Gibson, Brees Hall, I'm going Steelers. Steelers all the way this week.
My thing is, I mean, Justin Fields didn't look too bad last year. I mean, who did he have last year? All he had was George Pickens, and I'd say George Pickens is pretty much on the same level, probably a little bit worse than Garrett Wilson is. So, I mean, he's kind of in a very similar situation. You got a decent, mediocre-ish running back, Najee Harris compared to Garrett Wilson. I mean, Brees Hall, my bad. And then you have George Pickens compared to Garrett Wilson. I mean, if you look at who he's throwing to, I mean, it's definitely a better team than or a better group than last year. Like, would you rather have your quarterback throwing to Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall or George Pickens and Najee Harris?
Yeah, you're right. I'd rather have them throwing to Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall. But
Exactly. So
I also
that
think
I
that
mean,
Justin Fields is just not the guy to have at quarterback, in my opinion. I
yeah,
think he's yeah.
I just think he's not getting the respect he deserves. I mean, he kind of got written off really quick. I mean, he was on the Bears. Bears have obviously been terrible for a while now. And then he went to the Steelers. He won three and lost a couple, if I remember correctly. So why is he getting written off so quick? He got benched for Russell Wilson after like week 5 or 6.
Yeah, and I also think that some of that credit has to be given to the Pittsburgh defense. But I will say the Jets' offensive line looks really solid. Like, I really like what they've done with their offensive line. So, in that sense, if Justin Fields can mature a little bit and make the right reads, he'll have time to throw the ball. And he'll have time to run his designed runs that the Jets will ultimately use him for. Like, this is Aaron Glenn's first time with a quarterback who can run. Jared Goff was not a quarterback who could run. So, maybe we'll see something fun out of Aaron Glenn and see if we can potentially see something cool. So, yeah, I got Pittsburgh and you got New York.
Yeah. All right, moving
What's
on,
the
we
next
got
matchup?
Cincinnati versus the Browns. I mean, this is easy. Bengals taking this. I don't care how bad their defense is. The Browns are not winning with Joe Flacco. I think
Yeah,
that's
Browns are just not ready for this type of matchup. There's not really much to explain. Joe Flacco's old. Jerry Jeudy as a
yeah.
wide receiver one. I'd like him better as a wide receiver two. But there's no one else there who's going to start. The running back room is a mess. I mean, Judkins is potentially being signed this week. Sampson is apparently the later down back, or like, the third down type back, whereas Jerome Ford is the early down back. So whole team is kind of just a mess. I like Cedric Tillman to have a nice catch for a touchdown, maybe a 50, 60-yard touchdown. I do like that if you're a betting kind of person. But yeah, this one's pretty easy to me. Cincinnati over Cleveland. Jamar over 100 yards. Need that for fantasy football.
Yeah, next up, this is another match where, I mean, people are probably going to sleep on this, but Panthers versus Jags. Who do you got?
I do have the Carolina Panthers taking this one, although I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars have a good season. But I do have the Panthers taking this one. I think that they're just the better overall team. Running back room, quarterback, I think it really hinges on if Bryce Young is going to take another step. But I do like what they've set up in terms of their offense, with Chuba Hubbard kind of being a workhorse. Tet McMillan, I love Tet McMillan. I think he's a great player, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And I think their defense is solid. Like I think that this is the Panthers' kind of opportunity to do something. And if they're not able to do something, then I don't know what's left for Bryce Young. But yeah, I think that the Carolina Panthers are going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. Trevor Lawrence will wake up, but later in the season. What do you think?
Hey, all I got to say, I'm ready right now.
And not much else to say. Hey, Jimmy Horn Jr., I'm hoping he has a good start this year. There's not a lot of receiver help in Carolina, so he could play in the slot and potentially play really well, because I know that Bryce Young needs some help in the slot. So
I think we're kind of
that could be a
sleeping
lot of
on
fun.
this. I think we're kind of sleeping on this receiver core. We got Tet McMillan, dog. We got Xavier Leggett. He's pretty solid. We got Hunter Renfro, dog. We know he can absolutely piece anyone up on a route. And then Jimmy Horn Jr., I mean, he's very, very solid. So I think Bryce Young has the weapons. I don't really remember how his O line is doing, but if that situation is good, he has Chuba Hubbard, probably like I'd say a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 wide receiver core. So, I mean, it's looking like it's all on Bryce Young this year.
Yeah, exactly. I will say, though, I think Xavier Leggett does not finish out his rookie contract with the Panthers.
Really.
Don't think he's a very good receiver, so I think he's either traded or maybe cut next year. Kind of taking that same, like, Quentin Johnson type career arc, which sucks because I liked him out of college, but he hasn't looked good in the NFL so far. So that's kind of TBT, but just wanted to say that.
Well, at least he can catch, unlike Quentin Johnson. I don't know if you
This is
saw
true.
this, but during the offseason, Quentin Johnson caught a ball and Lad McConkey was right behind him, ready for the drop.
Ready for the drop. He was
There's a
ready for him to
there's a
drop
picture
it.
I'll
That's
send you.
hilarious.
It's so funny. He's standing right behind him. I mean, obviously he was gonna catch the ball regardless if Quentin Johnson was there. But I'm just saying, it was so funny.
All right, who we got next in terms of matchups?
And we got something that I think is going to be a steamroll. I think the Patriots absolutely demolish the Raiders. The Raiders still
Really?
suck. The Raiders will suck for the next couple of years. Geno Smith still sucks, and this O line still sucks. I don't care. I'm sorry to actually no, I'm not sorry to all Raiders fans. Your team is not good. It's just not looking good for you. I mean, oh wow, you got Ashton Genty. Who's blocking for him? Like what? He's not gonna get more than like 50 yards a game with this O line. Sorry. Because I mean, if you're not giving him the gaps to run through, he's getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage every time. You're gonna have to turn him into a wide receiver at this point. And then don't let Geno get into the red zone, because then it's just gonna be pick after pick after pick.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Raiders really quickly. Last week, Jacoby Myers requested a trade from the Raiders. Now, here's what I would do if I was the Raiders and Jacoby Myers had just requested a trade. I would trade him. I would allow Geno Smith to be the quarterback with Dante Thornton Jr. as the wide receiver one, Jack Besh as wide receiver two, Brock Bowers as your tight end, Ashton Janty as your running back. There you have a beautiful young core with Geno Smith as the bridge quarterback. Now, he plays well, and all of a sudden you maybe sign him to another contract, but your team, obviously has a good outlook. He plays bad. Now you have a top 5 pick in the draft, and you use that to draft the quarterback of your future. Now, instead of that, they haven't traded Jacoby Myers. They signed Amari Cooper, and they're going to be a mid-team. Maybe they'll walk away with 7 wins. But what do you do with 6-7 wins? You end up with the 10th, 12th overall pick, and you're not getting one of those top quarterbacks. So that's what I would have done if I was the Raiders. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but they need to find a specific timeline, because They did well drafting Janty. They did well drafting Bowers. Like, they're drafting the pieces of the core that they want to, and then just not allowing the pieces of their core to develop. Like, it makes no sense to me. You have a guy who his build has only ever been seen by DK Metcalf and Megatron, Dante Thornton Jr., 4.3 speed, over 6'5". The only players that have ever recorded those measurements are DK Metcalf and Megatron. Now, I understand it could be an outlier, but this is a guy who caught. Did you see the touchdown he caught last week in preseason? It was beautiful. Maybe he's not your wide receiver one, but then you go grab one next year. Like, you guys need to figure out a timeline. The Raiders need to figure it out, or they're going to continue to get crushed every year. They're walking in with max 6 wins this year. I hope they tank. I hope they get a top 5 quarterback. They could use it. Gino's a bridge guy. We know Gino's a bridge guy. We've known this since the guy started in the NFL. He's a bridge guy. So who's the next guy after him? And you can't tell me it's friggin' Aiden O'Connell. Like, let's be real here. Anyways, yes, I have the Patriots winning this week. I just wanted to rant about the Raiders because they pissed me off.
I think that's an easy one. I mean, another easy one. I think we should just skim through kind of what I think are what we think the easy ones are. I mean, Cardinals over Saints, Broncos over Titans.
Whoa. Let's pause here. I
Bro,
don't think the Broncos
no.
and Titans is some easy matchup. All right?
That is
You're
100%
forgetting
easy, man.
we got Heisman runner-up, Mr. Cameron Ward, ready. He's ready and waiting for his first win. That being said,
for a reason.
I think Bo Nix beats him, but I don't think that's an easy win. I do think that the Titans put up a fight.
Easy win. What is Cam Ward?
I think Elick
Hold on.
First touchdown.
What is Cam Ward, Calvin Ridley, and Tyler Lockett going to do against PS2, Jade Barron, and Nick Benito, bro? What are they going to do?
Do not sleep on Elick Iomanor. He's frying PS2. Elick Iomanor will fry PS2 this week.
That is not happening.
Major mic drop.
That is not happening, bro.
And I think Tony P has a good week this week. But, yeah, like you said, Broncos walk away with this one. I think Cam Ward is legit. Cam Ward will be a top 10 quarterback by the end of the season. Mark my words right now. Top 10.
Cam Ward is lucky to score against the Broncos. He's getting lucky to score against the Broncos.
We will see, brother. All I'll say, Elick Iomanor. No words needed.
All right, back to what I was saying. Another easy win. I got the Commanders over the Giants. And then other than that, it looks like these games are going to get...
Wait, hold on. I want to talk about Commanders Giants really quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that... What do you think of the Giants this season? What do you think they should... Actually, no. Let me reframe that. What do you think the Giants should do at quarterback this season? For the entire season?
It's gonna be a weird thing because I think the depth chart right now is Russ at 1, Dart at 2, and then Winston at 3. So it looks like Jackson Dart has the tools that he needs to be to kind of be a good QB, but I don't think it's happening this year. I think starting Russ for the entire season is the best thing you can do to help develop Dart. Because we saw him ball.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So you have a reliable backup. And considering Russell Wilson's age, he's bound to go down for at least a good amount of snaps at some point in the season. And then that's when we really get to see, okay, what can Jackson Dart do? And then if we see him perform and maybe catch a dub against one of these teams, because we do know that the Giants have the hardest schedule in the league this year. So if he can perform and get a dub over one of these teams, then by all means, year 2, Jackson Dart is your New York Giants starting quarterback.
Yeah, I could see that. I agree with you there. But I think it's like if after 8 weeks, the Giants are not looking like they're going to make the playoffs, I think you either trade Russ or bench Russ and just let the kid play. Like, just let him develop through experience. And that is if they're, like, not looking good for the playoffs. But if they have a shot at the playoffs, Russell Wilson looks good.
Then what happens when Jackson Dart turns into the next Anthony Richardson? Because who is Anthony Richardson developing behind?
Daniel Jones!
Exactly. So, like, yeah, I think you kind of need to have, unless you're, like, one of those guys who are just insane coming out of college, like Cam Ward, insane coming out of college, Jaden Daniels, and we got a couple other guys, but I think Jackson Dart isn't one of those guys that are just like one of the best players you've seen coming out of college. So I think he definitely needs that kind of veteran presence to show him the ropes a little bit. And I mean, who's better but Russ? I mean, they both had, Russ in his prime had legs. Jackson Dart, he has legs. Jackson Dart has an arm. He has good field vision. This is everything that Russ had back when he was playing like a top 10 quarterback. And not only that, Russell Wilson has been to a Super Bowl and he's dominated in the Super Bowl. So you got a guy who he's been in every part of the game. He's been on a good team. He's been on a bad team. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's lost in a Super Bowl. So he kind of has the entire blueprint to show Jackson Dart exactly what he needs to be a proficient Giants starting quarterback. And I think Russell Wilson knows this. I think he knows he's not the future of this Giants team, and he knows that he's kind of mentoring the future of this Giants team.
Yeah, agreed. Side note on Russell Wilson. Did you know him and Doug Baldwin are not friends? Even though I thought they were super close. They're not friends anymore. I don't know what happened there, but Doug Baldwin said some choice things on his podcast or whatever. But yeah, they're not friends anymore. I thought that was really interesting to see because I could have sworn they were like. I mean, that's a quarterback and his receiver, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. I mean, they had their falling out.
Rough ending, but I mean, we know Diggs. We know Diggs. You know Diggs.
Yeah, Diva Diggs.
Diva Diggs, man. But I think that's a good segue into Seattle versus San Francisco. Who you got for me?
I'm gonna let you take this one because I mean we already know who I'm picking.
Yeah. So I mean, Seahawks fan, so he'll pick Seattle, but I'm also gonna go Seattle. I think San Francisco is a mess right now. Like they just got to figure out what's going on. Is Brock Purdy your franchise quarterback or a guy that you don't want to lead your team? McCaffrey, does he stay healthy? What's the receiver room look like? Is Juwan playing this week, or is Ricky Pearsall number one? Jacob Cowing number two? Like I don't really know what's going on with the Niners. And then defensively, can Nick Bosa get back to prime Nick Bosa? Maybe. I think that Malik Mustafa is a guy on the Niners that I'm watching closely as far as a defensive breakout player. But yeah, I'm picking the Seattle Seahawks to win this week. I think that Sam Darnold gets a debut win and Jalen Milroe records a rushing touchdown this week. Because when they get inside the 5-yard line, I think they should give Jalen Milroe some designed runs and allow him to run into the end zone. And another player that I like to do well this week and someone that I'm watching out for, Nick Emanwori, just a super athlete, man. Super, super athlete. And a guy who I think actually reminds me a bit of Malik Mustafa, the same guy who I was talking about 2 seconds ago. So, you know, with those types of athletic profiles, they're different. So Nick Emanwori for this week, and the Seattle Seahawks are going to take the dub over.
Yeah, I do want to say something. I'm addressing every Niners fan out there. Y'all are all delusional if you think you're doing anything this year in terms of winning games. You're lucky to get six wins. All right, who do you have on defense still? Who? I want you to besides Fred Warner, besides Malik Mustafa, and besides Lenore, who do you guys have? Nick Bosa is a shell of what he once was. Brock Purdy on offense, he's not even that. I don't care that he went to the Super Bowl. What is he going to do with only Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, who hasn't really proven himself to do anything, and then Christian McCaffrey on his last limbs? His knees are made out of styrofoam. So what are you guys going to do? And then you're talking about, oh, we're winning the NFC West. No, you're not. This is not happening. This is delusional Niner fans. And I don't care if you're going to call me a delusional Seahawks fan. It does not matter because the Seahawks we literally have the best team in the West. The only team that is somewhat comp for us is the Rams. And Matthew Stafford is basically on his last limbs. So other than that, there's no comp. I don't want to hear Niners fans talking about they're winning the division anymore. I think y'all suck, and you're not going anywhere for the next couple of years. Niners fall off starts now.
Go in on them then.
Hey, I just had to let the people know, bro. I'm sick of seeing the Seahawks disrespect, bro. I seen people put the Cardinals over the Seahawks. Kyler Murray, are we kidding me? Like, are you kidding? Kyler Murray, the guy who can't hit a receiver in front of him, he literally thought the defense was his receiver because there was no one there. He threw a pick right to him, bro. Like, where are we looking? You got a guy who can't even see over his own offensive line, bro. Go back to playing Call of Duty.
Yo, no words. On to the next.
No
words. Next, I got Tampa versus Atlanta. I am a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, and sadly, I think that the Atlanta Falcons win this week against the Bucs. When we match up with them later on this season for the second time, the Bucs are going to take it, and the Bucs are going to get that playoff spot in the 4 seed as usual. But I think the Falcons take it this week. Momentum-wise, they're in a good spot. Bijan looks good. Drake London looks good. Michael Penix Jr. looks good. Kyle Pitts looks terrible. And I think that the Falcons are a solid team that, you know, I think the Bucs are going to have some problems in terms of wide receiver room. Like, let's see how good Egbuka is going to be. Let's see how good Mike is this season. But I think this is a high-scoring game. Like, I would expect both teams to either almost score 30 points or get close. And another thing with the Bucks is their defense is slightly depleted. We're missing Christian Izien this week, most likely. Missing a few other important guys on the team. So yeah, I think the Falcons take it this week. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think the Bucks got it. I mean, the Falcons, they got to figure something out for the first couple of weeks. They're not going to just jump in and go straight to being a winning team. I mean, Michael Penix played maybe 1 or 2 games last season. I think that he's starting week 1. He's going to have to figure it out. He's going to kind of decide how to lead this team. And he does have weapons. He has Bijan, he has Drake London, he has Darnell Mooney. He might have Kyle Pitts. We don't know if he's going to be a competent player or not. But other than that, I mean, Tampa Bay has kind of solidifies himself as the owner of this division for a good amount of time. And I think it stays that way for the next maybe 2 years because Carolina is creeping up. Tampa Bay already looks like, I mean, my bad. The Falcons look like they're about to creep up. So with that being said, the Bucks are taking this game. And one thing I'm really excited about is Emeka Egbuka. I think he's honestly my breakout candidate for this year for the entire NFL. He's going to be probably the best performing rookie in this draft class.
Travis Hunter. No words.
No way.
Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter. No question about it. Travis Hunter. 2 words, actually. Travis Hunter. We're going to get into that later because I got a question.
5 words. Emeka Egbuka. 5 words. Emeka Egbuka.
Moving on. Detroit versus Green Bay. I think that this could be a better matchup than Baltimore versus Buffalo this week. Going to be a really fun one. I think that the Lions struggle, but ultimately pull out the win. But they don't look like the same offense they did last year without Ben Johnson. And the defense, I don't know. I want to see how Aiden Hutchinson does on the defensive side of the ball. I want to see if his legs are back underneath him. Can he move the same way he was moving last year? But I do think Detroit pulls it out because I think Green Bay is also depleted as well. You know, Micah might not play this week. Wide receiver room, Jaden Reed has a Jones fracture in his foot, which you're not supposed to play on at all. Yet he wants to play week 1. Romeo Doubs is like in and out. Christian Watson is hurt. Savion Williams is terrible. Like, I don't really know. Josh Jacobs looks good, though. Jordan Love looks okay. Looks solid. But yeah, I think Detroit gets it done this week. And I think Jameson Williams has a great season this season, potentially surpassing Amon-Ra in yards, not receptions, but yards.
I will say this. If you have Josh Jacobs in fantasy, consider yourself lucky because I think he gets the most production out of anyone on this Packers offense.
100%. They're going to feed him this week.
They're still figuring out what they're doing at wide receiver. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell when you have 5 wide receiver 2s. So, I mean,
hey,
Josh Jacobs,
I think Golden looks good, though. Golden looks good.
Okay, we said that about Romeo Doubs. We said about Jaden Reed. We said about Christian Watson. So, like, I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, are the Packers going to get their number 1 guy? And also, why didn't you pick up George Pickens if you got all these guys that are number 2s? Like, you could have gotten George Pickens. Or why not basically trade 2 or 3 of these guys? I mean, 3 maybe is a little bit much. You could have traded maybe 2 of these guys and a first-round pick for maybe like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. I think that would be
no shot, baby.
If you traded, let's
say that would never happen.
I'd say if you traded,
if you can trade Jaden Reed and Christian Watson and a first-round pick for Justin Jefferson, you are the greatest GM of all time. I promise you. You'll never work a day in your life ever again. People will pay you just to be near them because of how good of a GM you would be. Justin Jefferson for Jaden Reed and Bum Watson? What are we talking about?
No. For Justin Jefferson, you got to have at least 2 to 3 first-round picks. But, I mean, they can make it happen. They just gave away 2 for Micah Parsons. They can make that happen.
Yeah, they could have done something like that, but realistically, who's trading away a top receiver right now? I don't honestly think anyone, right?
I think I'm just projecting because I want to see such a huge blockbuster like Luka trade type of trade in the NFL. Like, we don't ever get those type of trades. Like Micah Parsons was the closest thing we've gotten to that, and that was just expected because he was battling contract negotiations for months. So
agreed.
I just really want to see one of those like huge like kind of like Stafford and Goff type of trades.
Yeah, we need to see that this season, but it's been slow. Next teams that we've got are the Rams versus the Texans.
This is a tricky one. I mean, CJ Stroud, I mean, he wasn't terrible last year, but I wouldn't say he played the best he could have. And then you got Matthew Stafford, who, like I said, he's on his last limbs. But I will say this, the Rams have a scary receiver core. Their defense is looking pretty solid. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's fairly solid. So I think they can give CJ Stroud some troubles. I mean, you got Jared Verse on the line. I don't know if he's playing week 1 because I did hear about some injuries. But other than that, the Rams look pretty solid. And it's very close, but I will give it to the Rams over Houston in week 1.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just looking up real quickly what Jared versus status is this week. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, you're right. There's no really updates on him. But yeah, I think that the Rams D-line just gets through. Houston, they don't really have a running back who's going to block very well. Nick Chubb, I don't really know why they're even starting Nick Chubb. I would start Woody Marks, your rookie. Just see what you got out of the rookie. I wouldn't start a guy who broke his leg in 3 parts, but by all means, go ahead. And yeah, I think the Rams take this one just because their defense looks really good. They got some really nice pieces in the secondary, and Puka and Devontae are probably one of the better receiving duos in the NFL. But I also think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game, higher 20s, because the Texans and the Rams defense can be somewhat questionable in terms of stopping teams from scoring points. So, but yeah, Rams for me as well. Most exciting game of the week, Baltimore-Buffalo. What's your choice?
See, this is another tough one. On one hand, we got MVP. The other hand, we got MVP runner-up. So, honestly...
Wait, you mean like Lamar Jackson MVP, right?
Of course not.
Just to be clear, the MVP of the NFL is Lamar Jackson.
Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Who won MVP last year in the NFL? Says Josh Allen.
The MVP of the NFL, Lamar Jackson, regardless of any award shows or whatever was going on. Dang, man.
Hey, you can't say that Lamar deserved MVP. There's no way you could say that. I just don't like that. It doesn't make sense. How the hell is Lamar Jackson MVP over Josh Allen? Who the hell did Josh Allen have on his team last year? All he had was...
Who did Lamar Jackson have on his team?
He still has Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, Rashad Bateman.
James Cook led the league in touchdowns.
It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter.
Bro, you got James the number Cook. 1 touchdown score. Look, James Cook and Derrick Henry both led the league in touchdowns last season. All right, so cross them out. Cross them off the list. All right, they equal out. Receiver.
Okay, now compare.
Are you taking
Keon
washed up Hopkins? Continue. No, continue.
Are you taking Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir over Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman?
Yes.
Which one are you picking? No, you're not. You're not taking Khalil Shakir, bro. You're not taking Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman.
All right. Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid, or Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely?
I like Isaiah Likely more than I like Kincaid and Knox.
All right, we're gonna agree to disagree here. Lamar Jackson is my MVP. Josh Allen is your MVP. I don't know who the people's MVP is. Wow.
But not only that, look at the defenses. Look at the defensive side of the ball. Lamar Jackson did not have to carry his team as much as Josh Allen did. Josh Allen had basically no one on that defense. All he had is Christian.
Bro, Lamar was winning that game if Mark Andrews didn't sell. Tell me I'm wrong. That was Lamar's game to win.
That was Josh Allen's 100%. I had Josh Allen ready for that win, bro. Come on.
Anyways, neither one of them can get past Mahomes, so I guess there's no point in even discussing who even wins, because they get to Kansas City and they forget how to play football. So, like it doesn't make any sense.
Playoff demon still comes to the AFC Championship, bro.
It's crazy, man. Kansas City Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl this season. Said it before, said it again. Who was your pick though? Baltimore or Buffalo?
Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo. I mean, Josh Allen. Coming off an MVP season, lost in the AFC Championship. He's out for blood. I mean, come on. He's gonna have a really hard time to get through this Ravens defense. I will say that they did pick up Jair Alexander. Good pickup. They got good linebackers, good corners. So his receivers are getting shut down. So it's going to be up to him and his legs, and he's going to rely on his ability to just find the guy and find the spot to throw it from, because that's really what he does best. He scrambles. He gets to the corner of the field. He sees a guy 50 yards out. Boom, launches the ball down.
MVP is winning this week. Baltimore over Buffalo.
So Josh Allen's winning. Because you said MVP, though. No, but you said MVP.
The MVP is Lamar Jackson.
No,
the people's MVP is Lamar Jackson. I don't care who the NFL MVP is. The people's MVP is Lamar Jackson.
But if I look it up, it says...
Don't show me no Google search. I'm telling you who the people's MVP is.
It's...
That's the NFL's MVP. I mean the people's MVP. My MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Josh Allen 2024. I don't know where you're getting your info from. I don't know what NFL alternate universe you're watching, but it seems like Josh Allen is the MVP.
We're going to see this year. And
it seems like he's the best quarterback in football.
I don't think either one of them wins it this year. I think Joe Burrow gets it this year, but that's a discussion for another day.
I like that.
That's a discussion for another day. Last matchup of the week, Chicago, Minnesota. What you got for me?
I like this matchup a lot. I want to see what J.J. McCarthy can do. I want to see what Caleb Williams will do, but I have more faith in Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, and DJ Moore over JJ McCarthy, Kevin O'Connell, and Justin Jefferson. I just have more faith in the Bears on this one. And I think that, I mean, Ben Johnson really, really, really wants to prove himself that he can be a head coach for an NFL team and kind of just bring them to where they need to be. I mean, as long as the Bears can make it close to playoffs this year, I think that's a win for them. I'm not expecting anything big. Like, I mean, if they have some crazy turnaround like the Commanders did last year, beautiful. That's even better than almost making playoffs. But I think that's kind of where they sit at. I think they kind of just sit at almost making playoffs or barely making it.
Yeah, agree with you there 100%. Chicago's got a little bit more experience. McCarthy's a bit green. And yeah, I want to see what Ben Johnson does, especially with Colston Loveland. I'm really excited to see what kind of things he throws at Colston Loveland, see what kind of sets he throws him into, see if him and Cole Kmet play together. And then I also want to see what he does with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, because I want Rome Odunze to be the wide receiver one, but and I think he plays that Amon-Ra role a little bit better than DJ Moore. The reports out of training camp are saying DJ Moore is playing that role, so I think that's really interesting. But and I want to see what happens there. But yeah, Chicago over Minnesota for me as well to wrap up the week. So yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be a really fun week, dude. It's gonna be a great week from start to finish. These are just great matchups.
Yeah, they kind of went crazy with the schedule. I'm not gonna lie.
Agreed. But yeah, to close it out, let's go into a few hypothetical questions that I had for you. Discuss your viewpoints on it. Lamar Jackson is the MVP, but let's continue on. Who is your biggest breakout player for the 2025-26 NFL season?
Like I said, Emeka Ibuka. I mean, I think he takes majority targets over Mike Evans and Chris Godwin this year. I mean, if you see the way the guy plays, and if you know me, you know I love Ohio State wide receivers. Emeka Ibuka is going to be one of the top 10 guys coming up soon. He's going to be the Malik Neighbors this year. It's going to be him, Torrey Horton, and Ted McMillan. Those are going to be kind of the big wide receiver rookies. They're going to be the new BTJ and Malik. And honestly, I just love the way these OSU players play. I mean, like JSN, favorite player in the league. I really like Garrett Wilson. Emeka Ibuka is another one of those guys. It's just really solid. The only one that let me down was Marvin Harrison Jr. But I mean, that's stupid Kyler Murray's fault.
Gotta hate on Kyler. I like that. As a Bucks fan, I like Ibuka. I think I'm a little lower on him than consensus just because, I don't know. I think Godwin comes back week 5, week 6, and kind of reclaims the spot just for this season, though. I agree with you that Ibuka is a very good receiver and has potential top 10 upside. I'm just not sure about this season. But my biggest breakout for the 2025-26 NFL season is Jalen Waddle of the Dolphins. I know not everyone loves Tua at quarterback, but I think eventually Tyreek Hill either gets moved or, I don't think he finishes out this season as a Miami Dolphins. I think Tyreek Hill is gone. I think Jalen Waddle takes that next step, and we have yet to see that elite skill that we saw at Alabama out of Jalen Waddle from these past couple of seasons. And I truly think that this is the season where he displays that speed. Hasn't been really fully healthy the last couple seasons, so I'm really excited to see what he can do. And I think that with Tyreek Hill gone, which is my prediction, that offense is going to open up a hell of a lot more. Defense is not great, so Tua's going to be throwing the ball a lot. So as long as Tua Tagovailoa remains healthy, Jalen Waddle is my breakout player for this year. My backup breakout player for this year is Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman is one of the best route runners, one of the best separators in the NFL, and I think he's going to have a truly special season because I think Zay Flowers serves better as a wide receiver 2 than a wide receiver 1, and I think Rashad Bateman could really become the wide receiver 1 for Lamar Jackson. Like we've seen in prior years, Lamar doesn't really pick a number 1 target, so it could go the same as every other year, but I do think that Rashad Bateman's in line for a really good season. But let's piggyback off of what you had said earlier about Egbuka. You like OSU wide receiver. Let me ask you, who do you think is wide receiver you? Is it LSU? Is it Ohio State University? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I will say this right now. As of right now, it's got to be LSU just because you have Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Like, if you didn't have those guys and it was just Malik, BTJ, Jarvis Landry, OBJ, I would say OSU 100%. But I will say this. I will say OSU will become wide receiver university within the next 2 years. JSN, top 10 already. Emeka Ibuka, going to be top 10. Get Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Kyler Murray's receiver room, and then he's going to be top 10 as well. I mean, people were talking about him like he was the next Megatron, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice. Like, that's how he was getting praised before he got drafted. So I want to see that come out of him, and I think it will. I think if you get him the right QB, put him on the right team, he's producing better than any receiver in the league right now. So, I mean, I think that's pretty easy to say that OSU will be wide receiver U within the next 2-3 years. But as of right now, I just have to give it to LSU.
Yeah, I got to disagree with you there. I think LSU is far and away wide receiver U, and I know that you obviously you agreed that they are wide receiver U right now, but I think they're far and away wide receiver U for the future. Like I think that Jamar, Jettas, Malik, BTJ, I think that potentially could be the top 4 receivers in the NFL. If all 4 are from the same school, I don't think I can't you can't deny the fact that LSU is wide receiver U. And then you add a guy like Odell Beckham Jr., who just had such an influence on the game itself, one of the best rookies of all time as a wide receiver. Jarvis Landry as well, a special player, special gadget guy. Shout out Keyshawn Butte, gonna have a good season this season. But yeah, I think it's just the fact that I think that those are 4 of the top 10 receivers that we currently have in our league: Jamar, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr. And there's nothing you can do there's nothing you can say about OSU that matches up with that, right? Do they have 4 of the top 10 receivers in the league? No. Now you say that it's possible, but when Marv, JSN, and Egbuka are in the top 10, say they get to the top 10, where are Jettas, Jamar, Malik, and BTJ? Are they also still in the top 10, and are they 4 out of the top 5? Like, then that's crazy. Then it's still LSU, no matter how good these OSU receivers get. Can JSN eclipse a guy like Jamar Chase? Like, give me your honest thoughts. JSN be a better wide receiver than Jamar Chase in his career?
I mean, he's still young. I mean, he definitely has the potential to be great. I mean, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, these guys are insane. Like, it's going to be so hard to find another wide receiver like those two. But I will say that these young guys, they definitely have a chance to be in that top 5 conversation by the next 2 years. And I think that if you have Emeka Ibuka, JSN, Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, all in your top 10 wide receivers, and then compared to only 4 from LSU, then I mean that's definitely I'm gonna give it to OSU. I mean, I don't you can say quality over quantity, but at the end of the day, it's about who's producing the best wide receivers and who's gonna produce the most of them. So if you have 6 compared to 4, but those 4 are slightly better than the 6, I mean, I'd still give it to the 6.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that we'll agree to disagree on that, but at the same time, like I see your point, right? I think that it would be insane, but we could potentially see the top 10 receivers all being from OSU and LSU, which is
100%.
crazy. That's insane. On to the one thing I do want to say, DeCorian Moore, he would have been the next great LSU wide receiver. Flipped his commitment to Oregon, so now he's going to be terrible. I just wanted to say that. Should have gone to LSU. Sorry, buddy. But I think talking about LSU, we can jump to our next question.
Oh wait, if we're talking about
Hypothetical
guys
question.
that are still in college, we're talking about guys. I mean, what happens when Jeremiah Smith gets to the league? Then what? Then what kind of conversations are we having? Because if
Ooh,
Jeremiah Smith is in the league, I mean, he's already looking to be one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. I know he had a kind of bad performance last week
we
or
can't worry
last.
about his one game. Like we
Yeah,
don't worry about
exactly.
one
It's
game.
one
Yeah.
game. Everyone has one bad game, but even still, he's getting more praise than Marvin Harrison Jr. was. So I mean, what happens when he gets to the league and just starts dominating and potentially does better than OBJ did in his rookie season? Because that's still
Yeah, I
a
gotta say,
hypothetical that's in there.
if he is as good as he looks, that's a whole different conversation. That's an entirely different conversation if he's as good as he looks. Because his, like, I mean, the body is there, the hands are there, the athleticism is there. There's not a lot of skill he doesn't have, and he's a sophomore in
Exactly.
college. So,
He has the speed,
well,
build,
yeah,
everything. He has everything he needs. He's the blueprint. He's exactly what you want from a wide receiver.
yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. And his one hand ability is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Jeremiah Smith is incredible, man. Just an incredible player.
And he's so young doing all this. Like, come on. Come on.
It's crazy. It's crazy. He's younger than me.
Yeah, exactly. He's my age.
I'm an unk, man. Anyways, continuing on. But I guess talking more about LSU, I have a hypothetical question for you. If Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson were in the exact same situation, like played for the Bengals, had Joe Burrow at quarterback, just if you swapped them into the
Mhm.
exact situation, who is the better overall receiver?
I mean, I mean, Jamar Chase is kind of already getting somewhat blown out of the water by Justin Jefferson. Now imagine you took away Joe Burrow from Jamar Chase and gave him to Justin Jefferson. What's happening then?
Yeah, I'm fully agreeing with you on this one. I don't think there's any chance Jamar comes close to Justin Jefferson with Joe Burrow.
Does Jamar Chase put up 1,000 yards on 10 games with Nick Mullen, Josh Dobbs? I forgot who else was rotating that year, but I mean, does he put up 1,000 yards off 10 games in that season? I
No,
mean,
no,
definitely not.
no, he doesn't. Justin Jefferson is the clear better receiver in terms of skill, in terms of production, in terms of. I mean, you can't say in terms of accolades. Jamar Chase had a great season, so I think in terms of skill and production, you got to go Justin Jefferson. But I do think that if Jamar can somehow pull out the Triple Crown again this year, we got to start having those conversations about potentially who's the number one. But yes, as of right now, the clear as day winner, Justin Jefferson.
But I mean, even if Jamar does have Triple Crown, I'm just looking at Justin Jefferson's stats. Year 1, 1,500 yards. Year 2, 1,600 yards. Year 3,
It's a
1,800
ridiculous
yards.
player.
Year 4, 1,000 yards off 10 games. And then last year, 1,500 yards. Compared to Jamar Chase, you got 1,400 year 1, 1,000 year 2, 1,200 the next year, and then 1,700 last year. So if you just look at it, 5,000 in 4 years compared to 7,000 in 5 years. I mean, who we take?
It's clear as day. I mean, you know where I stand. All right, so we can almost wrap up. I just have one more question for you that I know we wanted to discuss. Ted McMillan or Travis Hunter? Go.
100%. If we're talking
Nope,
about
Travis
just
Hunter.
from a pure receiver
Nope.
standpoint, 100% Ted McMillan.
From a pure receiver standpoint, Travis Hunter.
I'm going Ted McMillan.
It's clear as day. Look at the kid's ball skills. Look at the guy's ball skills. He is so incredible at. Okay, that's fair. I think Travis Hunter is a better wide receiver than he is cornerback, and he's a better wide receiver than Tetairoa McMillan.
There's no way.
It's simple as that.
The only reason, if Travis Hunter played only wide receiver, he would have gotten picked after Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan would have went in
no shot.
100%. 100%. Have you seen Ted McMillan? He's huge and he's fast. What else do you want from a receiver? And he can catch. Travis Hunter is not. He's not as big. I will say he's fast, but I mean, I still would 100%.
Ted McMillan's ceiling is Nico Collins. Travis Hunter's ceiling is Justin Jefferson. Do you want Justin Jefferson or Nico Collins?
I'm gonna say this. Ted McMillan's ceiling is Calvin Johnson. That is his ceiling. His floor is Nico Collins. I'm telling you, this guy's nice. He's nice.
I'm speechless.
All he needs is a QB that can get him in the ball. That's all he needs. Because that's what Megatron had. Megatron had a QB that can get him the ball. And then he became great. If Ted McMillan gets a QB that can give him the ball, he will be the next, or I won't say he won't be the next Calvin Johnson. He will be the next kind of like Calvin Johnson, because there's not going to be anyone like Calvin Johnson for a while.
My goodness.
I don't think that's a crazy take. I think that's pretty valid.
We'll see. For me, it's Travis Hunter all the way. If you see the way he runs routes, the way he's able to catch the ball and turn it into something more, he's a ball hawk in terms of being a corner, which just improves his wide receiver skills in terms of tracking the ball. I stand by Ted McMillan's ceiling being Nico Collins, whereas Travis Hunter's is Justin Jefferson plus. But I want to see how Liam Cohen uses him first. Like, obviously, if he only uses him in 50% of snaps, Ted's going to have the better season. So yes, it does depend on how he's used. But Liam Cohen being a young GM, if I was a young GM and I just made a franchise-changing pick, I'm using him in every snap I can if he's ready for it, which Travis Hunter is. I know a lot of people say that he can't play both ways. He shouldn't play both ways. I think he should. I think that they should play him to his ultimate potential.
I say if you play him both ways, just do it until you can't. I mean, like, there's no harm, no foul. If he's not performing on one side but performing on the other, then boom, there you have it. You have what position he is.
You have your choice. Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you.
And if he performs on both sides, then even better. You got a guy who could.
Then you have a dual threat. Exactly. The biggest thing with Travis, right? If you think about it, if he gets injured, you lose two players. You don't lose just your wide receiver one or whatever, wide receiver 1, 2 between him and BTJ. You also lose your CB one. So it's like that's hard with Travis Hunter. But
yeah. Another thing I will say, I think Brian Thomas Jr. keeps this wide receivers one spot for the whole time they're both on the Jags. I mean, I don't think Travis takes that one spot.
Yeah, I don't see it being an issue. I think Trevor Lawrence throws the ball a good amount, and he has no running back.
So go crazy last year. I mean, there's no saying that he's not going to.
100%. All right. That closes out week 1 predictions. We will be back next week, probably with week 2 predictions and some week 1 overview when the Kansas City Chiefs lose and the Baltimore Ravens beat the Buffalo Bills. We will come back, and I'll tell Adam how wrong he was, and it's going to be a great week. But thank you guys for listening.
MVP is going to beat Lamar Jackson. So.
You said MVP is going to be Lamar Jackson? I agree. Good take. MVP is Lamar Jackson.
Yo, I think you need some better headphones. Oh, you not wearing them? That makes sense. You say your mic just probably your speaker's probably bad. Maybe my mic is muffled. I'll get them checked out. Don't worry, I got you.
Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you guys every week tuning in. We'll be back next week and tune into the Slot Pod on all platforms. See you guys.